Very, very good afternoon, friends. This is Rahul Ghosh here. Can all of you all confirm if you can hear my voice loud and clear? Fantastic. Just give me a minute. I need to connect my fifth monitor. One sec, please. Okay, great, everybody. So how's everybody doing this afternoon? Good so far. One day the market falls 50 points and everybody gets a little jittery. When the market went up 1500 points, that time it was okay, right? But ek din 100 points or 50 points, the market falls and you'll see everybody on their toes. Good afternoon, everybody. Did all of y'all, any of y'all rather, manage to get entry into any trades? We took trade in Bajaj in 15 minutes and target. Rahul, I don't have money in my lab. Spoke to Prasad from IT. He mentioned that you need to tell him for money. You're telling me I need to tell him, or Arihant, you need to tell him? I didn't get your question, my friend. Let me just call and check that everybody's money is there. Hold on. Give me a minute, Balaji. Yeah, because I'm going to come to that, let me just inform IT about the cash limit. Have you all tried pressing synchronize? Have you guys tried pressing synchronize? By the way, did everybody receive the file yesterday? Did everybody receive? No? Okay, give me a minute, guys. Just hold on. No, let me check what's happening. Okay, till IT comes online, let's look at some sessions. Sorry, let's look at some trades. I think somebody said they got a trade stopped out. I want to start with the stopped out trade first. Who was it who was mentioning about a stopped out trade? Aarti, you? Okay, before you, somebody else had mentioned, I think in Bajaj Finance, somebody was talking about a stopped out trade. Let me just scroll up and see. No, who was it? Bajaj. Rahul have money in Bajaj Finance. Anthony, why aren't you replying, my friend, when I'm asking about Bajaj Finance? Please keep your level ready. Please keep your level ready, Anthony, on Bajaj Finance. Yeah, can you show me the level, please? Yeah, but I'm on the 3-minute chart in your lab, Anthony. I don't see the 15-minute chart. Friends, wherever you've got stopped out, please keep the trade ready in your screen, just so that we don't waste any time. Anthony, again, I'm not able to see it. Your screen is on my screen, Anthony. Lab is not moving. Okay, maybe you want to restart it then? Then restart your lab, my friend. Yeah, Nikhil, we'll have a look at yours. Let's say, Aarti, which one was stopped out for you? Give me the trade, please. Aarti, here we go. Hourly income trade, 5-minute TCS. Okay, let's have a look at TCS. TCS. $60-minute. Yeah, let's have a look. Aarti, sometimes you can get stopped out even if you follow all the rules. I have, this is my closest demand. Okay. Or maybe you mark this as the closest demand. Not sure. Let's check. Closest supply would be this level over here. I'm assuming, was this supply formed when you were taking the trade, Aarti? Was this supply formed when you were taking the trade? I marked at 10 a.m. Okay, then it wasn't formed. Fair enough. Let's go to the 5-minute. That means you were low on the curve. You were looking for a buy opportunity. Let's start with 10 first. What are all these zones? Let's remove this 15-minute. Let's remove this 5-minute. Here we are. So my good level of demand is over here. Okay, this 10-minute lovely rally base rally in TCS. If I go to the 5-minute, I have, okay, you've marked this level. No, Aarti. Aarti, you've marked the upper level, am I correct? Okay, so friends, please pay attention over here, friends. Can you see that the 10-minute level over here or the 5-minute level over here has been stopped out and the 60-minute level over here has worked? Can all of you see the 5-minute level over here has stopped out and the 60-minute level over here has worked? Can you all see that on my screen? Yes, no, I don't know, Rahul. Yes, always we've discussed that lower time frames are weaker than higher time frames. So if you have a scenario like this, what I would suggest is take your entry over here, and if there is not a big difference between your entry and stop loss, look over here, there is only a 3 rupees difference or a 4 rupees difference below this stop loss and this stop loss. Always keep your stop loss below the higher time frame if there is a small difference. I repeat, friends, always keep your stop loss below the higher time frame if there is a small difference. Here you will notice, Aarti, there is only a 3 or 4 rupee difference, but that's okay. It's a lesson well learned. Yeah, did you all follow me, guys? Yes, no? Nikhil, what was your trade? And Anthony, did you manage to get yours? Let's have a look at Anthony's. Where did my lab go? Here we are. This is Aarti's. Okay, let's close Aarti's. Anthony, your lab level is which one? Nikhil, I'm just coming. Give me a minute, Nikhil. $15 which is the level? I can't see the entry and the stop loss, my friend. This is the level in Bajaj Finance. Is this the one in demand that you're talking about? Definitely, Aarti. Let me have a look at Bajaj Finance 15-minute. 15-minute Bajaj Finance meaning I am planning a daily income trade. Daily income trade. Just a second, guys. Just a second. Yeah, your limit should be with you in 5 minutes, friends, and from tomorrow it will be available at 12 o'clock. Bajaj Finance 15-minute. I am assuming this was the daily zone, and this was your daily supply which was tested. I cannot mark the tested zone, which means ideally you were in equilibrium. Okay, you are in equilibrium. You are ideally planning to buy. I don't disagree with that view also. Let's see where we are going to buy. 15-minute. Okay, I have one level over here, and on the 30-minute I have a level over here. Okay, the above level, yes, is tested, so I have only one level over here. If I zoom out, zoom, reset, you've got a lovely move from that level, Anthony, my friend. You've got a lovely move from that level. It's picture perfect. Where did you go wrong? Okay, I thought you got stopped out, Anthony. I thought you said got stopped out. Oh, okay, fantastic. Good going, Anthony. Good going there. A word of caution though, Anthony. Ideally look for a little more explosive move, my friend. Look for a little more explosive move, but otherwise rules wise you are indeed correct. Yeah. Did all of you understand Bajaj Finance trade? Srinivas, Monica, Hitesh, Vikas, did you all follow me? Fantastic. Good going, Anthony. Good going there. Before we come to Nikhil's trade, we had a stopped out Bhuvaneshwari. Let's look at your trade, Bhuvaneshwari. Where is my lab? Monitor. Okay, Bhuvaneshwari, what style of trading were you following, Bhuvaneshwari? Hourly, weekly, daily, monthly? Weekly, okay, so let's go to Adani Ports weekly. Okay, so you have your closest demand over here. This is a drop, base and a rally. You don't have any fresh supply, fair enough. You are low on the curve. Okay, interesting. Friends, what is my trend turn to in Adani Ports? What is my trend in Adani Ports? Look at it carefully. Don't be in a hurry to answer. Hitesh says down. What about the rest of you? I would appreciate an answer from everybody. Sideways, Srinivas says up. Kanha says sideways. Now friends, turn your attention over here. Can somebody dictate to me what is the rule I had given yesterday? The last rule I had given yesterday. What was the last rule that I had given yesterday? The rule said that if your current move does not break the previous high or the previous low, I repeat, if the current move does not break the previous high or the previous low, then it cannot be taken into consideration. Would all of you agree that this was the previous high, this was the previous low? Would all of you agree? Yes, no? This was the last high, this was the last low. Would you all agree this current move is broken this low, so it has to be taken into consideration? Would you all agree that this low has been broken, so it has to be taken into consideration? Give me a yes if you are following me. Give me a no if you are not following me. Yes, which means I have indeed formed a lower low. This was a high. This was the low. And we formed a lower low. Friends, we formed a lower low. Have we formed a lower high? We cannot conclude that we have formed a lower high, friends. And even if you look at the chart, will you agree that almost equal highs are there? Would you agree that there is no decisive trend if you look at the chart? By looking at it, what do you think? It is looking haphazard or sideways. Nikhil, even then, my friend, what would have been the trend? If this candle had not broken, what would be my trend? My trend would have been up. Yes, no? If it has become sideways, so if my trend was up, would you agree I am looking to buy as close to the higher time frame? Yes, no? Or in a coinciding zone? Nikhil, would you agree if my trend was up, I was looking to buy at a coinciding zone or as close to my higher time frame? Yes, no? If it is sideways, that is the same thing I'm looking to do, Nikhil. Would you agree? If it is sideways, that is exactly the same thing I'm looking to do. So it doesn't really matter. If you got confused, it doesn't really matter. This is something which will come with practice. If I go to the 15-minute to plan a trade, I have this as my drop base rally. This is the zone to buy Adani Ports. Where have you bought it, Bhuvaneshwari? I'm assuming you've bought it over here. Am I correct? 60 minutes. Okay, I beg your pardon. You are planning a weekly income trade. 60 minutes. Okay. 60 minutes also, you had one level over here. You had one level over here. You had one level over here where prices are right now bouncing from. Which level did you buy at, Bhuvaneshwari? Which level did you buy at? Can you read out the price? 349 to 345. You're talking about this one, is it? Bhuvaneshwari, is this the one where I marked it? Bhuvaneshwari, is that the correct level to take a trade in? Is that the correct level to take the trade in? That level would have an odd enhancer score of 9. Okay. This level would have an odd enhancer score of 10. This level would have an odd enhancer score of 10. Which level should you take a trade in, Bhuvaneshwari? The 9 or the 10? Did you understand my rationale, everybody in this room? Sir, actually, I'm already in trade on IG Petrol, buy at 175. That was the reason I had asked either should I hold the position or square off. I am confusing in long term. Nikhil, now you're asking for advice, my friend. But anyway, let's have a look at it. IG, is it? IG Petro, is that the one? Where have you entered, my friend? Where have you entered? Which time frame and where have you entered? 175. IGPL is at 384. Where is 175, Nikhil? Actually, you're holding it from 175 is what you're saying, is it? Yeah, so you can hold on to it, Nikhil. You can hold on to it, but let's take this discussion offline, my friend. Let's take this discussion offline. Next person, Balaji, I think you had a stopped out trade. Can you tell me which one? Jet Airways, excellent. Which time frame, my friend? In fact, I had a monthly income level over level planned over here in Jet. One over here and one over here. We've, I think, gotten an entry into both the tranches, which means we are in profit right now because your average entry price should have come somewhere around 473. Anyway, yeah, Monica, that's correct. Hourly trade, okay, fantastic. Okay, Nikhil, you wanted the trend. I'll come back to that, Nikhil. No worries, I'll come back to that. Lab is open, says Balaji. Fantastic. Let's go to the lab then. Monitor, lab, Balaji. Can you zoom in, my friend? Can you zoom in, my friend Balaji? To the demand zone, that is correct. Balaji, I don't see any demand zone over there where you've marked. Five-minute level. It actually looks good, but let's check. Jet Airways Arly. Jet Airways 60-minute. Oh, we had a lovely. No, this zone was broken yesterday itself. This was the location. This was location, and this was your supply. Okay, yesterday only it was topped out, because from this location, can you see, you've got a feather touch and prices are bouncing. Let's go back over here then. This was your location. I'm assuming you were over here. Yes. If you were here, you were in equilibrium. Okay, fair enough. In equilibrium, what was your trend? In equilibrium, your trend was down, which means you should have been a seller. Let's go to the 5-minute. 5-minute. Oh, but you were a buyer in you had bought or sold. Balaji, were you a buyer or a seller? You marked a demand zone, so you were a buyer. The trend was down in equilibrium, Balaji. Your trend was down in equilibrium. Yes, hourly trade is what I'm talking about. See over here, this was where we were yesterday. So you were in equilibrium, which means your trend is seen on the 15-minute. Very evidently on the 15-minute, yes, yesterday afternoon, yesterday morning, day before, the day before that, the trend was down all along. Yeah. Nikhil, which stock is yours? You got an entry, but there was a demand zone. So what, Balaji? So what? What are the rules? When you're in equilibrium, you trade in the direction of the trend. Am I correct, Balaji? When you're in equilibrium, you trade in the direction of the trend. And your trend was very evidently down when you planned this trade. Hindalco. Just a second, Srinivas. Hindalco, hourly, daily, weekly, what trade have you planned? Daily income. Can you show me the level, please? Nikhil is over here. Okay, this is 15-minute daily. Okay, let's have a look. Hindalco daily. If I'm correct, Nikhil, did you plan this trade 3 days back? Because otherwise it is tested. When did you plan this trade, Nikhil, my friend? I'm assuming 3 days back. Because if you planned it today, this was a tested level, tested location. Okay. 3 days back, then you're good to go. This was daily. Let's go to my zoning time frame on the 15. You have one level over here. Okay. This level has been tested or not? Okay, it's not tested. On the 30, you have a better level. The 30 you have. Nikhil, my friend, you've been lucky. I'll tell you why. Because the 15-minute level that you've marked is only a score of 9 on 10. Would all of you agree? Would all of you agree it's a 9 on 10 only because there is only one explosive candle? Does everybody in this room agree? There is only one leg out, it's explosive, so it's good. But this is a 9 on 10, which means you will take a type 2 or a type 3 entry. And actually, prices have not bounced from your 15-minute level, Nikhil. The right level to mark, my friend, is this 30-minute rally, base rally, which is a 10 on 10 score. And if you notice, that is indeed where prices have bounced from. Can you see? This 15-minute level, barely you got saved by a small whisker. But actually, look from where prices have bounced and look at the phenomenal move if you get your rules right. It's self-explanatory, guys, the screen. Are all of you following, guys, whatever I'm trying to say in every level? I hope all of you are learning where you're going right, where you're going wrong. That is the most important thing. The learning part is the most important thing. Your entire life is left to make money. Fantastic. Srinivas, you had Bharti Airtel 90-day 5-minute hourly income trade. Let's look at Bharti Airtel. Bharti Airtel. Hourly income trade. Okay, this will be your closest demand. And this will be your closest. There is no close by supply, which means you're in equilibrium. Okay, what is the trend in Bharti Airtel right now, friends? What is the trend right now in Bharti Airtel? What is my trend in Bharti Airtel? Sideways. Why is it sideways? Because this has formed a lower high. This is the last low and this low is almost similar. So either way it is sideways, friends. Absolutely right. Lower highs but not lower lows. Absolutely correct, Balaji. Absolutely correct, Nikhil. So it is sideways, which means you are allowed to buy only if there is something coinciding. Okay. Is this where you planned a trade, my friend? 365, around thereabouts. Be a little careful with the stop loss, Srinivas. You might want to keep it below your 60 minutes of demand. Your rationale is perfectly right, Srinivas. But I would keep my stop loss below the 60 minute. Because what about you? Any trade that you have planned? Anything, my friend, that you have planned? Axis, okay. Which one got stopped out? Let's look at the stopped out one, because which one got stopped out? Did you get a fill in anyone? Yeah, which you only planned, have you got entry in any one of the four? Entry, no. Okay, so let's have a look at Axis. Open up Axis on your screen, please, because Axis. Let's go to Vikas. And meanwhile, who else have I? Aryan, if you can keep your screen also open, my friend. You'll have to zoom it in. Vikas, you'll have to zoom it in. I still can't see it, my friend. Okay, let me open up in Trade Tiger. This is an hourly or a weekly income trade? Hourly or daily income trade? Hourly income by, okay, Axis Bank. Axis Bank. Some lovely levels in Axis Bank actually. I have one demand over here. I have my supply. Is this tested? No, it is tested. This becomes my supply. Fantastic. This becomes my price curve. I am in equilibrium. Okay. Lovely. What is my trend, guys? I like this example. I had actually planned an MIT for Gale at 370 on daily chart. Can you check? It's not on. Sideways, says Bhuvaneshwari. Yes, Aryant, I'll check it. Just a minute. What about the rest of you? What is my trend on Axis Bank? Come on. I can't judge. Look at my screen very carefully, friends. Let me remove these lines. Would all of you agree? There was a low formed over here. And this is another equal low. If this is not even an equal low and you call this a higher high, or whether you called it an equal low, does your trend change or the trend remains same? If it is a lower low and a higher high, or a lower low and a lower high and an equal low, In both cases, what is my trend going to be? It's going to remain the same, yes or no? Which means what is my trend? Sideways, absolutely correct. Srinivas, equal lows or a lower high and a higher low. All of these are sideways. Anything apart from higher high and higher low or lower high and lower low makes the trend sideways only. Remember that, Srinivas. We can only buy if there is a coinciding level. Let's check at the 5 and let's check at the 10. On the 10, I have one coinciding level over here. Is this your level as well? On the 10-minute drop, base and rally? Perfect, Vikas. If you've marked it on the 5-minute, I would say the 10-minute level is better. I repeat, if you marked it on the 5-minute, I would say that the 10-minute level is better, my friend. Yeah, then the 10-minute is better because you might get whipsawed in the 5-minute. The 10-minute level is having a okay, the odd and answer score is also same. Actually, the level is same because the level is same. You can take it. Perfect. Who else was it? I think it was Arihant who says Gale. Let's have a look at Gale. $470 you had planned. 370. Where? Which zone? Okay, this one. You marked it body to wick or wick to wick? Body to wick, is it? What a beautiful entry, I must say, Arihant. What a beautiful entry. Look at how well the rules have been followed over here. Arihant, you definitely deserve a pat on the back. Look at this example, friends. If I have monthly, and this is where he had done his analysis. Okay. When I took the trade, Axis current price was at lower end, so directly went to demand zone in lower time frame. Perfect, Vikas. Good to go. This was my closest demand, and I had no overhead supply because I was in all-time high. Okay. If I had gone to the weekly, I'm assuming he did his analysis when it was like this, and my trend was very evidently up. Would all of you agree? My trend was very evidently towards the upside, which means he wanted to be a buyer. If he wanted to be a buyer, he had a couple of zones. Okay. Let's say 1. Let's say number 2. Let's say number 3. And let's say number 4. Oh, this is not number 4. This is number 4. Arihant had 4 zones to take a trade in. Ladies and gentlemen, if you had done your analysis, you will see that this, because of one leg out, yielded a 9. This, because of one leg out, yielded a 9. This, because of one leg out, yielded a 9. This zone had a score of 10 on 10. Which one was he supposed to take a trade in? Which one was he supposed to take a trade in? 9 or 10? No prizes for guessing. Stopped out, stopped out, stopped out, and is bouncing only from the 10 level. It is bouncing only from the 10 level. That is why it becomes very, very critical to use your rules, friends. Becomes very, very critical to use your rules. Everybody clear with this? Did everybody understand all the trades that we had discussed today on where we went wrong or where we went right? Good going, everybody. Good going. So let's take a quick break, guys, of 10 minutes. Let's take a 10-15 minute break. And absolutely, Nikhil. Let's come back and we are going to start a concept of, we're going to discuss entry types, and we're also going to discuss how pro and professional gap and novice gap helps in zone identification. Yes, let's take a 10-minute break and let's be back, guys. Okay, friends, hopefully everybody is back from the break. We have Hitesh Solanki telling me that I have one stopped out trade, I mean. Please review it in my screen. Sure, Hitesh. Let's have a look at it. Hitesh. What style of trading, Hitesh, are you talking about? Okay, you have a drop base rally, a daily income trader in Shriram Transport. Let's have a look at Trade Tiger. Remove Shriram Transport. Oh, Indiabulls Housing Finance. Okay. Indiabulls Housing Finance daily, you had a lovely level over here. What a beautiful move you're getting from there. And this was your supply. Very evidently, you are in the low of the curve. You're looking for a buy, either on the 15 or the 30. $15 or 30. Oh, okay. This was a nice looking zone. And on the 30, you had another zone over here. So the 15-minute level was absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect what you have taken, Hitesh. And I'm assuming your stop loss was very close to the level and that is why you got stopped out. Hitesh, your stop loss was very close to the level. Yeah. That's why we generally keep aggressive stop loss, Hitesh. Let me see if I put the DATR. Where would have my stop loss come? Now 15. % safe. Hitesh, if you've taken level above level, my friend, you wouldn't have got stopped out. You would have still been in this trade. One second, why is this not getting closed? Make stop loss on 2 hours, save. Yes. Yes, if you had used the 10%, 2% DATR rule, you would have gotten stopped out. You're absolutely right, Hitesh. Because of level over level, you're saved. Friends, generally, for those of you who have been with me in monthly income, know this for a fact. But for those of you who don't know, let me reiterate. Keep your stop losses a little below. Keep wiggle room always, more than 10%. But keep enough and more wiggle room, friends. Don't always cramp it, keep a little wiggle room. Yeah? Balaji, we have to come to all of that. All you need to know right now, Balaji, is that you have to keep your stop loss by keeping a little gap between your distill line and your stop loss. Don't keep it very close by. Keep it a little below and keep a little breathing space there. Yeah? Okay, fantastic. What I want you guys to do is, I want you to plan one sec, just a second. Yeah, I want you to, okay, before we get into planning any trades, friends, I wanted to discuss what is entry type 1, entry type 2, and entry type 3. Very, very important. because some of you don't know this. Let's open up entry types. Remember when we were marking our odd enhancer score, we always we mentioned that if your level has a score of 10 on 10, only then will you take an entry type 1. If your level has a score of 8 or 9 on 10, you would have a score of 2 or, you would take entry type 2 or you would take entry type 3. Do you all remember that, friends? Yes, no? Yes, so what is this entry type 1, what is this entry type 2, and what is this entry type 3? Very, very critical to understand. Let me go to the slides. Here we go. Just a second. Entry type. Just one sec, friends. By the way, markets has completely recovered. You're seeing a 100% recovery in the market. It's actually going to break even in the green. Like I said, everybody gets scared if 1 or 2 days of down moves. But if you know what your trend is, if you know where your zones are. By the way, friends, where has Nifty bounced from? Where has Nifty bounced from? 9355 was our entry. Did we get an entry? Unfortunately, no. Prices just missed our entry. But many stocks have gone down. It felt scary. Aryan, that is how human sentiment is. I told you, 1,500 points market went up, my friend. 1,500 points market went up. But 1 day of 100 rupee down move and you will see the whole world will get jittery. That is how red has, that is the power of red on the screen. I remember the day, I don't know how many of you were in the market when the Donald Trump event happened. Were any of you in the market during November 8th or 9th during the Donald Trump event? That 400 point gap down, and I had from my clients to students to everybody going berserk. And believe me, the only thing we were doing is buying over there because such kind of down move cannot sustain. You can't have the bigger players having market down 400 points and they not looking for a buy opportunity in this up market. So you need to just be sure about your levels and leave emotions at the table. Anyway, entry types, friends. Now there are 3 styles of entry. Okay. 3 styles of entry. That is entry type 1, entry type 2, entry type 3. Aryan, we'll do it in the session in the night. There is a monthly income session, right? We'll review it there. Let's just stick with a little bit of the concepts. There are 3 entry types, friends. There is the limit entry, there is the zonal entry, and then you have the confirmation entry. Okay, entry type 1 is called as a limit entry, entry type 2 is called as the zone entry, and entry type 3 is called as your confirmation entry. Now, quick point over here. Let's say you have a demand zone, let's say Axis Bank. Okay. Now in Axis Bank, let's remove all this. And let's say I have a zone over here where I plan an entry little above the proximal line and plan my stop loss little below my stop loss line. Friends, if I am able to take, or if I am taking entry the moment prices touch my entry line or proximal line, that is called as a type 1 entry. I repeat, if and when I take an entry the moment prices touch my proximal line or entry line, that is called as a type 1 entry. Okay. Type 1 entry has the maximum risk but has the highest chances of getting an entry. Type 1 has the maximum risk but has the highest chance of getting an entry. If I take an entry somewhere inside the zone, that is either over here, either over here, either over here, either over here, if anywhere I take an entry inside the zone, it is called as zonal entry or type 2 entry. I repeat, that is called as a zonal entry or a type 2 entry. Okay, type 1 is when you take an entry as soon as it touches your proximal line. Type 2 entry is when you take an entry anywhere inside your zone. Type 3 entry, okay, and I want you to pay attention over here. Type 3 entry has two rules. Okay, let me open up Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word. Type 3 entry has two rules. Rule number 1, okay. Rule number 1 says that any one candle has to close inside my zone. I repeat, any one candle has to close inside my zone. Rule number 2 says that any one of the future candles, rule number 2 says that any one of the future candles on its way out has to pierce your entry line. The moment it pierces the entry line, you are in the trade. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger. Rule 1 says that any one candle has to close inside my zone. Okay, any one candle has to close inside the zone. Rule number 2 says that any one of the future candles on the way out has to pierce my entry line. Rule says that any one of the future candles on the way out has to pierce my entry line. What does this mean? Let me show you an example. Let's look at Reliance. Reliance. Okay. Now in Reliance, let's look at this demand zone over here. Okay. I have a drop base rally over here, and let's say I plan an entry over here and keep my stop loss over here. Okay, and I'm looking for a type 1, or sorry, I'm looking for a type 3 entry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking for a type 3 entry. Has any one candle closed inside the zone, friends? Has any one candle closed inside the zone? Yes, no? Yes? A red candle closing happens at the bottom, so not yet closed. In the red candle, my friend, the closing happens at the bottom, Anthony. This candle is closed. I'm taking a past example. One candle has closed inside my zone. Any one of the future candles on the way out has to pierce my entry line. I repeat, any one of the future candles on the way out has to pierce my entry line. Did this next candle pierce my entry line on the way out? Did this second candle pierce my entry line on the way out? Therefore, you have got a type 3 entry or a confirmation entry. What does type 3 entry mean? It is that you are confirming that indeed there are pending orders over here, because prices are indeed reversing from your zone. But it is boring. How does it matter, Srinivas, whether it is boring or exciting? The rule says that any one of the candles on the way out has to pierce my entry line. That's it, my friend. It does not matter if it is boring or it does not matter if it is exciting. Type 1, Type 2 and Type 3 entry is only seen in the execution time frame. Perfect, you are Anthony. This is only seen in the execution time frame. Yes, therefore you are actually confirming that there are pending orders over here and prices are turning from your zone. Prices are that you are turning from your zone. Clear, everybody? Clear? What is the disadvantage and the advantage of this technique, friends? Type 3. What is the advantage and the disadvantage of this technique? Advantage and disadvantage of this technique. What if there are multiple such candles in the execution? Aarti, it doesn't matter. I said no, one candle has to close inside the zone and any one candle on the way out, Aarti, has to pierce your entry line. Any one candle on the way out has to pierce your entry line. Did you follow me, Aarti? Yes, no, I don't know, Rahul. Okay, fantastic. Advantage, it is a low risk trade. You're absolutely right. Perfect, friends. The risk is lower because you have prices actually turning from your zone, giving you a confirmation. No prizes for guessing that. What is the disadvantage? Disadvantage is that there is a lesser probability of getting entry. Absolutely, there is a lesser probability of us to get entry. Clear? Yes, lot of time might be gone in spending in waiting. Could be possible. Could be absolutely possible. Yeah? Let us reiterate this, friends. 1 second, please. My system is caught in hanged. Yeah. Let's open up the PowerPoint presentation. Okay. Okay. Limit entry. A sell limit order is placed before prices reaches the proximal line, or a buy limit order is placed the moment prices come to your proximal line. This is where you're entering the moment prices touch your entry. This is where you're taking entry the moment prices touch your entry line. Why is the chance less in type 3, do you ask? Why do you say it is less in type 3? Because one candle has to close inside the zone, Balaji. Okay, and then one other candle on the way out and all that has to happen, no? So it's quite possible it just might touch the proximal line and it might go off on top. That is why the chances of getting entry are lower. Just as Hindalco today on 30 minutes. Okay. Okay, so limit entry is when you take an entry the moment prices touch your proximal line. Confirmation zone entry is when you take an entry when prices are a little inside your zone. It can be absolutely anywhere inside the zone, friends. It can be absolutely anywhere inside your zone. Yeah, meaning it might move too fast on the way up. No, Balaji. Let's look at this example, Balaji. One sec, please. Yeah. So let's look at an example, okay? And let's say I was planning a trade in this short level over here, drop, base, drop. Okay, this was the level. Now tell me something. If I planned a type entry over here and a stop loss over here, wouldn't I have missed the trade? If I had planned a type 3 entry, wouldn't I have missed the trade over here? Yes, no, what do you feel? Absolutely, I would have indeed missed the trade over here. So therefore, type 1 entry gives us far higher probability of getting an entry into the trade, friends. It gives us far higher probability of getting an entry into a trade. Are you all following me? This is entry type 1. Yes, it is entry type 1, Vikas, but you could have planned an entry type 2 also inside over here. There also you would have got an entry. But tell me something, if I had planned an entry type 3, would I have gotten an entry over here? Did any one candle close inside the zone, ladies and gentlemen? Did any one candle close inside the zone? Yes, no, absolutely not. I wouldn't have gotten a type 3 entry and I would have missed the trade. That is why probability of getting entry is lower, Balaji. Did you understand? Now let's look at another example. Balaji, did you understand it, my friend? Not yet? Then you didn't pay attention, Balaji. Your mind was somewhere else. You were doing something else. If this was a supply zone, Balaji, if this was your supply zone, and let's say I planned an entry over here and stop loss over here, and let's say I'm planning a type 3 entry. Let's say I'm planning a type 3 entry. Okay, when the zone is formed, you already know based on your odd enhancer score whether you're going to take a type 1, type 2 or type 3, my friend. This you already know. Now if you planned a type 3, you have to have one candle closing inside the zone, Balaji. Can you see if any candle closed inside the zone? No candle closed inside the zone. Would you agree? No candle closed inside the zone. The base candle. Balaji, how do you see the open and the close price of a candle, my friend? Irrespective of whether it is a base candle, I am saying that the price should close inside the zone. This is the body, this is the open portion, this is the closed portion. Even if this is the closed portion or this is the closed portion, irrespective of that, prices have not closed inside. Yes, for a candle to close inside, the body portion, the topmost body portion for a green candle should be inside the zone, or the bottommost part of the red portion should be inside the zone for a red candle to close. Keep that in mind. Now, if you had planned a type 3 entry over here, you wouldn't have gotten an entry. The reason you wouldn't have gotten an entry is because no candle has closed inside the zone. You could have planned a type 1. If you are planning a trade inside the zone, you could have planned type 2. Therefore, I say type 3 has lesser probability of getting an entry. Why? Because all these rules, the two rules that I have mentioned to you over here, which I would appreciate, friends, if you took a screenshot of. Yes, these are the two rules for type 3 entry. Let me mention that as well. This is for a type 3 entry. This is for a type 3 entry. Make it bold. There you go. Make it a little bigger. There you go. Let's move on, friends. Let's move on to another example. Okay. And let's look at Trade Tiger only. Okay, beautiful. Let's say I planned a trade in this drop base rally, friends. Okay, let's say I planned a trade in this drop base and a rally. Now, tell me something. Did I get a type 3 entry? Yes or no? Let me mark my entry, mark my stop loss. Did I get a type 3 entry, friends? Yes, no. If I had planned a type 3 entry, would I have gotten a fill on this trade? You would have felt left out, guys. You would have felt completely left out. Agreed? Absolutely. You would have felt completely left out from this trade. Yes? Now, let's see further. Did I get an entry? Now, let's say I'm planning a trade over here. Okay, in this drop base rally. With an entry. Entry. Stop loss. Okay, now I am looking to plan a type 3 entry in this trade. Rule number 1 says that any one candle has to close inside my zone. Did one candle close inside my zone, friends? Give me a yes or a no. Did any one candle close inside my zone? Yes. Rule number 2 says that any one of the future candles on the way out have to pierce my entry line. Any one of the future candles on the way out have to pierce my entry line. Let's see if any one of the future candles pierce the entry line. Did any one of the future candles on the way out pierce your entry line, friends? Yes. What does that mean? It means we have gotten a valid type 3 entry. Both our rules are satisfied and we've gotten a valid type 3 entry. Is everybody clear with this? Give me a yes if you're clear, friends. Give me a no if you're not clear. At 2405, the moment it pierces the entry line is where you're going to take an entry, my friend. Bikash. The moment it pierces your entry line is where you're going to take a trade. That's where we make mistake. Market order, you have to be in front of the screen to take this trade. Yes, no, you don't have to wait for the candle to complete, because the moment it crosses this line, the moment it crosses, okay, fantastic. Fantastic. How do we take trade? Because you have to be in front of the screen. And in front of the screen, when it's crossing this line, no, that time you have to be in front and take the trade, my friend. Making sense? Fantastic, because fantastic. So let's go over the advantages and disadvantages once. Okay, zone entry is when you're taking an entry inside the zone like this. Let's look at the advantages and disadvantages, friends. In limit 1, okay, let's make this bigger. In entry type 1, the advantage is that probability of meeting an entry is the highest. Yes, you would all agree that this is the highest probability of meeting an entry. The disadvantage is, since the probability of entry is the highest risk is also in that zone. Would you agree the highest risk is also in that trade, because your entry and stop loss doesn't become any smaller. But if you take a type 2 entry, your entry line goes closer by to your stop loss, and therefore the risk also reduces. Risk is the lowest of all entry types in zone 2. But then disadvantage is that there is a lower probability of meeting entry, because again in this case also prices can bounce from your entry line and zoom away. Prices can touch your entry line and zoom away. Are all of you following me, guys? We have 8 people in the house. Give me a yes or a no, please. Hitesh, Bikash, Balaji, Bhuvaneshwari, Srinivas, Aarti, yes? Okay, great. Entry type 3, the risk is the same as limit entry. The risk is the same as limit entry, but the advantage is that there is less chance of stopping out, because you're actually confirming that prices are absolutely turning from your zone. You're confirming that prices are actually turning from your zone. No, in the case of zone 2 entry, you can automate it, yes, but limit entry, I'm sorry, confirmation entry, that is entry type 3, cannot be automated. Entry type 3 cannot be automated. Yeah, I hope everybody is clear. Let's do a stop loss order can be placed. Yes, Nikhil, both cases stop loss order. Stop loss in all 3 can be placed, Nikhil. There is no prizes for guessing that. Placing a stop loss order anyway happens during bracket order itself. For type 3 also it's the same. You have to be in front of the screen, because what if your entry is not triggered and you get stopped out? What if your entry is not triggered and you get stopped out? Yeah. Now let's look to plan a trade, friends. Okay, and what I want you guys to do is, I want you to plan a weekly income trade in Ashok Leyland, friends. I want all of you over here to plan a weekly income trade in Ashok Leyland. Weekly income trade in Ashok Leyland, friends. Yeah, and I'll give you only 5 minutes, guys. Vikas says he's done. Let's look at lab. Vikas, are you sure that's the best zone? Vikas, check 75, 125, 240 if you see anything better. Never know, right? Friends, just hold on for a second, please. Is there a better level? Coming Aarti. 75, 125, 240. Let everybody finish. Yeah, it can be 240 as well. You're right. Okay, I'm going to do it on the screen because I'm not able to 240s, but ordinance score for both look the same, Bhuvaneshwari and Vikas, what I have seen. One 25-minute RT says is better. Check 125 then. Yeah, let everybody finish. Okay, Vikas, we'll have a check. Yeah, Srinivas, I'm going to do it commonly for everybody. Hitesh has marked something that looks really good, I must say. We'll wait for a minute or two more. Okay, okay, Nikhil. Everybody is done, is it? Just a second, guys. Again, I've gotten hanged. Sorry about that, guys. Ashok Leyland weekly income trade. My apologies for that, friends. Weekly. Okay, now this will be my closest fresh demand zone, and this will be my closest fresh supply. Does everybody concur with this? I'm at the lower end of the curve, which means that very evidently I'm looking for a buy opportunity. Yes, I'm at the lower end of the curve. I'm looking for a buy opportunity, and that can be in the 60, 75, 125 or the 240. Okay, now on the 240 I have why is my tool not replicating? Anyway, let's go to settings, demand zone, tool replication, higher to lower, save, refresh, and then let's go to 240. Still not okay. Anyway, I have one zone over here, a rally base rally. Let me mark it body to wick, and I have one zone over here. Oh, it's more than 90 days. No, it's not more than 90 days, is it? Okay, maybe we are right. Let's have a look. Right click, load local data. Perfect, thank you for that. So I have one level over here and one level over here. Both are good looking levels. What about 125? 125 also I have similar good looking levels, friends. Is this the two levels that all of y'all had got? Is this the same two levels that all of you had got? Yes, no, I don't know, Rahul. Yes, absolutely. That is how you do your planning, friends. You can take the bottom level also. No, absolutely no qualm. You can take the bottom level also. Yeah? Great, friends. 2 points that I want all of you to, you marked on 60, Srinivasan. Let's check. Uh, 60, the lower level has too many base candles, my friend Srinivasan. Can you see both the levels on 60 have too many base candles? Yeah, that's why I think it's more prudent to take this one, where your odd and answer score is also good to go. Okay, friends, a point that I wanted to make to all of you all was that a couple of concepts that we still have to cover. We still have to cover analysis techniques. We still have to cover stock scanning. We still have to cover zone, which are preferential zones with respect to pro gaps and novice gaps. We still have to cover all-star entry. I'm assuming all these four concepts have not been learnt by any one of y'all in this room. Correct me if I'm wrong. None of these four concepts have been learnt. Yes. So these are four concepts to be covered. Then I want to cover stop loss in brief. Yes, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a little different tomorrow. The same exercise what we did today, you're going to do. But one homework for all of you today is that we are going to scan the entire Nifty 50 this evening, friends. We are going to scan the entire Nifty 50 today and come up with either hourly, daily or weekly or monthly income trades. I'm giving you time till 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock tomorrow. Entire Nifty 50, it is going to take 4 hours, friends. It is a time-consuming process. What I am going to do simultaneously, I am also going to scan Nifty 50. And let us see the zones that I get. Is it matching with the zones that you get? We are looking for coinciding high probability trades. Once again, let me reiterate to all of you, it is tedious and time consuming. But that is the sole way of doing it if you want to do it the best way. That is the sole way of doing it. Everybody's gone silent in the room. Nobody's answering anymore after I've said this. Yeah. Okay. Nifty 50, and I am going to scan it as well, friends, and we are going to see whether our levels are the same or not. We are looking for high probability explosive moves. We are looking for high probability coinciding zones. 2 points that you need to keep in check. Email ID, definitely. Let me type it. It's rahul.ghosh at branch.sherkhan.com. rahul.ghosh at branch.sherkhan.com. Yes? Yes, I have just instructed IT to mail the notepad. My apologies, it wasn't said. It's not necessarily major, daily or swing. Wherever you get the best opportunity, you need to scan all the time frames. What is the name of the TT Market Watch? Nifty 50 RT. Nifty 50 is what we're going to look for. Making sense? Everybody clear with this? Can't see. It's the regular Nifty RT. Here, look at my screen. Market Watch, NSE, Nifty. You'll get 50 stocks. Again, let me reiterate, it's going to be time consuming, guys, but at least it will give you a flavor of where you're going right or where you're going wrong, which is very, very, very important to keep in mind. Yes, can we come up with best 5? Hitesh, yes, that would be a good idea. Come up with the best 5. Hitesh, that sounds like a good idea. Okay, again, the lab will be open from 12 o'clock and I will make sure the money is there tomorrow. I will cross check it so that all of you can get into the lab and place the intraday orders. It's okay if you've made a mistake. It's okay if you're going wrong, but it's important that you place the orders in the system. Remove the fear that whether you're going to make money or lose money. Just follow the rules. Yes, you can place the order before class starts, Hitesh. I'll make sure 12 o'clock the money is there. I'll keep that on check. I'm glad, Aarti. I hope all of you, for that matter, are enjoying the sessions, guys. I hope you're able to find the difference on what you were lacking before. Because it is a very, very thin line between making a mistake and making money. Believe me, it's a very, very thin line. It can be one rule, 1 point, 1 stop loss. But once you come to the other side, that's all that matters. And believe me, on Saturday, I'm going to be teaching you one of the most powerful techniques in the stock market, which is your all-star entry. Yes, because we've run out of time today, but we shall do it tomorrow. You're being kind, Aarti. Thank you. Okay, so we'll close the session, guys, for today. And let's meet tomorrow at 1 o'clock sharp to take things forward. Okay, and yes, I couldn't discuss today the gap zones, which is actually very, very important. Thank you, Monica. I couldn't discuss that. Some of you have sent me a lovely emails, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time out and writing it with your warm wishes. I really, really appreciate it. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's meet each other tomorrow at 1 o'clock, guys. Yes, thank you so much. Have a great evening and see you tomorrow, friends. God bless and goodbye.